Hebrews. This is Israel's Wake Up. It's our Women's Advanced Bible Study night, uh, 17th of October, 2024. Okay, you can go to our YouTube Israel Wake Up channel. Check out our videos, examine our videos. We have over 75, I think, so videos that you can examine. We also have over 1,000 or so videos on our primary channel, which is Prophets of Awakening. You can go check out those videos and get an understanding of where we're coming from when it comes to Israel Wake Up, our sister channel, and the Prophets of Awakening. Okay. The hours of operation for Israel Wake Up is Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, and then we have a Sunday class every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, and it normally lasts about an hour, a little over an hour and a half. So if you want to check us out live, those are the times that we're live. Okay, and this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is, the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. Okay, our title or topic inside the class is Blacks Are in Trouble in America. Okay, we want to go into that and break it down. Listen to the video. Okay, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, Psalms. We have some women's help, current events, need to know information. Then we'll open it up for some questions and comments and some dialogue. And then, as I said, we'll go into our topic inside the class, which is Blacks Are in Trouble here in America. And we'll look at that. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts, and all that he's doing to bring about prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this time, and we thank you for your knowledge and the understanding that you have given us up to this point. When we seek thy face, that you shower us with peace and enlightenment and a sense of togetherness. Lord, we see thy hand in the affairs of the world, and we know and understand that what you have spoken in the past will surely come to pass. Turn not thy face from us at this hour, but hearken unto our plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. All praise unto you. Okay. So with that being said, we'll read a song. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna read Psalm 10. It's a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetousness whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Excuse me. His ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursings and deceit, and fraud under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in a den, and he lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when they draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten, he hideth his face, he will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God, and lift up thy hand. Forget not the humble, wherefore doeth the wicked contempt God. He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it, and thou hast seen it, or for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with my hand. The poor committed himself unto thee, thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, and seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord is king forever and ever, and the heathens are perished out of his land. Lord, thou hast heard the desires of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their hearts. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Okay, that was Psalms 10. Okay, and what I want to shine light on was verse 14. He says that thou hast seen, that thou beholdest the mischief and the spite, to quit it by thy hand. The poor commit himself unto thee, and thou art the helper of the fatherless. And 15, break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. Okay, so that's one of the things I think that a lot of people they forget. His job, we're trying to do his job when psalmist right here is telling you how he operates. Those things are his responsibility to do. Okay. Any questions or comments on that song? Okay. We got our women's health moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please know that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on the importance of listening to your body. Have you ever felt like your body was sending you a message, but you were not quite sure what it was? Many of us have lost touch with our body signals in today's modern world. But if we learn how to listen and respond to our bodies, we can make changes to improve health and quality of life. Listening to your body is about understanding how your body functions and turning it into its signals so that you can take steps to maintain or improve your health. It means understanding your body's feelings and recognizing when something is out of balance. Several factors can disrupt our natural ability to decode the messages coming from within. Stressful modern lives, processed foods, environmental toxins, fad diets, and other lifestyle factors can all play a role in impeding our body's natural ability to communicate with us, and all play a role in disrupting the signals sent by your body. These elements can interfere with biochemical pathways, impairing cellular communication and preventing you from recognizing an imbalance before it becomes more serious. Early signs of an imbalance can be discomfort in the stomach or occasional constipation, feeling hungry all the time despite eating enough, joint discomfort or mobility issues without an injury or infection, mood swings without any obvious triggers, or anxious feelings without any reason, difficulty focusing on tasks without feeling overly stressed out, restless sleep without being able to pinpoint why you're having trouble falling asleep, decreased sex drive without any underlying medical conditions present, unexplained skin breakouts or dull skin, just to name a few. We all have busy lives, and health can often fall to the bottom of our priority list. The good news is that by listening to your body and its signals, you can cultivate a healthier lifestyle that works in harmony with your natural rhythms. The ability to listen to our bodies is one of the most powerful tools we have when it comes to health. In summary, by learning how to interpret these signals daily, you will be able to recognize imbalances and make a change in your diet or lifestyle. By paying attention to your body's signals, you will be amazed at how much information you receive every day. Listen closely and act accordingly. This is the key to cultivating health. The saying is, if you listen to your body when it whispers, you won't have to hear it scream. I'm going to read from Proverbs chapter 13, verses 13 through 17. Verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. 16. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool lieth open his folly. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Tonight's discussion was on the importance of listening to your body, and I read Proverbs chapter 13, verses 13 through 17. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. And yeah, definitely in these times that we in, you have to step up, pay attention to what's going on around you with your body and everything, because we're in some troublesome time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is now spiraling out of control. And this is causing many businesses to go under. Some business owners are stressed out beyond belief. We are seeing inflation around the world, and we are seeing more layoffs than ever before. But why is this happening all of a sudden, the same time? What is going on? Well, I want to break this down because somebody just sent me a comment the other day and asking a very similar question. Well, what's happening right now is actually self-inflicted, and it's going to get worse. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So yes, what is happening right now, the crises that we are facing, is somewhat self-inflicted by us as the American people, the employees, and the employers. Here's what's going on. Now, first, I want to read you this comment. This comment is something that you have probably already experienced, whether, as to which side of it you're on, I don't know, but listen to what this person had to say. And then I'll explain why the United States is spiraling out of control, and experts believe it's going to get far worse. Listen to this. This person wrote and says, I don't see how it is even possible to run a profitable business in the U.S. nowadays. Everything costs more money. Employees, goods, utilities, leases, services, and so on. But we are now in a cycle that we can't get out of. Back in July, a long-term employee asked me for a raise because her rent was going up. So I obliged and gave her an additional $1 per hour, which I thought was more than fair, and she agreed. Then a few other employees asked for small raises just recently as well. I gave in to them too. Then in September, I had to reduce my staff since I couldn't continue increasing prices on our services. But in doing so, I needed to give the duties to the other employees. And again, they asked for a raise. If I keep giving raises, I will need to fire more people and then redistribute the duties. And I will be right back here in a few months. What are businesses doing to get away from this? Now, think about this, okay? People keep on asking for raises. As they ask for raises, the price of the goods or the services have to go up, or you have to reduce your expenses. Well, look at this. Disneyland, okay? Disneyland is hiking prices again. It says analyst finds Disneyland prices have gone up as much as 114% over the past decade. You know why Disneyland continues to hike prices? Because they are paying their employees more money. Because food is costing them more money. Utilities, more money. Right? Taxes cost more money. Everything is going up. As a result, these businesses have to increase the amount that they are charging for their goods or their services. Guess what? There's going to come a time where these businesses can't keep increasing prices. For instance, let's look at McDonald's. McDonald's kept on increasing prices, where in some cities, it costs about $18 for a Big Mac meal. $18. That wasn't upsizing it to a large either. That was your regular medium size, your Big Mac, a medium fry, medium drink, $18. Well, guess what? There was a lot of pushback from consumers. Consumers stopped spending that money. They did not want the Big Mac meal because they weren't going to spend $18 on a meal. Guess what? McDonald's had to come out and offer a discount meal. For $5, you can get a meal. You can get either a McChicken or a McDouble. You can get 4 nuggets, a small fry, and a small drink. Only $5. It's pretty good, right? Well, guess what? We know Arby's now has a discount meal. Taco Bell has a discount menu, right? We know Jack in the Box has a discount menu. Wendy's, again, they're the first ones that really did it, the 4 for $4. We know, what's the other one? Well, there's many. Carl's Jr.'s has one, okay? Burger King, the list goes on and on. Right? Everybody has a discount menu. But here's the issue. If they offer discounts, right, until they offer discounts, people stop coming in. And if consumers stop coming in, the business isn't making money and the employees aren't going to get paid. Here's the reason why this is a problem. This is what one person wrote on X just the other day. It says, due to record profits, employees are demanding more money. As a result, the companies give it to them, but raise their prices in the process. Due to businesses raising prices, customers can't afford the goods, so they stop coming. As a result, businesses start to offer discounts or eventually lay off their employees. One of the two has to happen. Once this happens, employees demand more pay to compensate for doing multiple jobs, and so they're giving a small raise. But once again, companies need to make a profit, so they raise prices or lay off other employees, and the cycle starts all over again. Now, there was something called, it still is something, but it's called the wage price spiral, where the prices of goods go up, right? Prices are here, wages are here. Prices of goods go up. And in order for you, as just a regular citizen, to afford those prices, you need a little bit more of a raise. So your wages go up, right? But now you're making more money. As a result of you making more money, these other companies think, oh, well, we should be able to raise prices. So they raise prices. But in order for you to pay for that stuff, you need a little bit of a raise. So it goes up. But guess what? Those companies are greedy, so they want more money. As a result, they raise the price. How is that free parking? It's $2.50. Yeah, so every single bill at the restaurant, and I don't remember where it was at. I might have mentioned it here on the channel back then, but I don't remember for sure. But again, $2.50 for free parking. Okay? Another one. I know I talked about this one on the channel where somebody wrote to me and said that they were charged like $3, and it was for like a employee retention or something, or a employee, I don't remember exactly what it was, something that just increases the morale of the employees. Okay, great, you give them $3. But they add that in there automatically, that's a surcharge. They add in all the different surcharges, okay? And then at the very end, a tip. And they tell you, here's what 20% is. Before, the minimum was like 5 to 10%. This was years ago. Now the minimum is 20%. So I'm looking at some of these different receipts, some of these different, before I go and completely check out, and it starts at 20%. It's 20, 25, 35, not even 30%, 20, 25, 35, 40%. Not kidding. This.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that?
Shalom, everyone. And you know when you go to the drive-through now, right? You sit in the drive-through uh more time than you used to, and it's because of what he said. They're cutting the staff back, right? So you got someone that's doing 2 or 3 jobs when they used to have someone in each one of those positions. Well, it's not like that anymore. You got one person that's doing, 2 or 3 of the jobs back there. Somebody may be doing the burgers, the fries, then he got to put them together, then he got the wrap it, put in the bag. You know what I'm saying? So you may only have 2 people in the kitchen, the person that's cooking, right, and the person that's running the drive-through window, and a manager that's probably running the front. So a lot of times we're gonna see that happening, and more often I want to mention KFC in that too, that has the special, the 2 piece or whatever for $5. You know what I'm saying? 2 piece mashed potatoes and the biscuit, because they're
Right.
trying to stay in business.
Right. Exactly. And then the crazy part about it is, employee, you got to have enough sense to understand that, if you start complaining, you may have to do a little extra work on the side, but you got a job. You know what I mean? Until you find something else, but just to, because you see that they have somebody got to go because of the revenue that's coming in. So if you one of the ones that stay, you got a job. I mean, you got tag it up.
Right, because jobs are hard to find
Yeah,
now.
that's what
So
I'm saying.
yeah,
Then
doing those rush. Yeah, go ahead.
the
I'm sorry.
Mexican to come in there. The Mexican to come in there. He been getting pesos. Like
Mm-hmm.
brother was talking about in the video I'm gonna play later, that they coming from over Mexico. They was getting 5 pesos a whole day. So you
Mm,
think they ain't gonna work for $15 and do a little extra work?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. They don't mind doing that extra work, and then during those rush hours, say lunchtime, they will hire a older person that's trying to offset maybe their social security or something to work those 4 or 5 hours during that rush time. And then
Right,
you back to what they call a skeleton crew, you know.
right,
And then they may have somebody come in and do the evening rush, a couple of extra people
right,
to come in and do the evening rush, and then they cut back down to the skeleton crew. So now the way it is with finding these jobs is very hard. Even jobs in, you know, retail and in the restaurant fields, it's hard.
right. Exactly. Is that some? Okay, we got another one right here. I think this is kind of alarming, but we'll check it out.
So Yahya Sinwar is dead, Israel is celebrating, but that's not all that's happening in West Asia. You also have the United States. They're stepping up their actions in the region, and they have taken aim at one of Israel's enemies, the Houthi rebel group in Yemen. The Houthis are backed by Iran. They are part of Iran's axis of resistance, or as Israel calls it, the axis of evil. The Houthis aren't really a major player in the West Asian conflict. They're more of a support faction. They mostly target international trade, the ships sailing through the Red Sea.
The Yemeni Houthi armed forces carried out 2 military operations. The first targeted the American oil tanker Olympic Spirit. The ship was targeted in the Red Sea with 11 ballistic missiles and 2 drones, and it was directly and severely hit by the grace of Allah.
That was a Houthi spokesperson. He announced their latest attack. It took place last week, and this is what the Houthis are most famous for, attacking ships. They've been doing it since last November, but yesterday it seemed that the US had finally had enough. They brought out the big guns, the B-2 Spirit, America's heavy strategic stealth bomber. The B-2 is almost undetectable. It has never been shot at. Enemies usually do not spot it until it's too late. The B-2 is one of the aces up America's sleeve, and they brought it out against the Houthis yesterday. The US then released a statement. They targeted 5 Houthi weapon depots. The depots weren't exactly special. They were fortified and located underground. But they did not contain any special munitions. So then why did the US bring out the B-2s? Why unleash such a powerful weapon? Well, this is a statement from the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Look at this part. It says, this was a unique demonstration of the United States' ability to target facilities that our adversaries seek to keep out of reach, no matter how deeply buried underground, hardened, or fortified. He's saying it loud and clear. It was a demonstration of America's ability to penetrate any military installation, no matter how deep underground. Each B-2 can enter enemy territory undetected and drop dozens of bombs all over the place, including this monster, the Massive Ordnance Air Blast, or MOAB, colloquially known as the mother of all bombs, MOAB. The MOAB has a destructive force of 18,000 pounds of TNT. It's the US military's most powerful non-nuclear bomb, and it's usually delivered by B-2 stealth bombers. That is the message that America is sending. This demonstration was not really for the Houthis, it was for their backers, the Iranians. Iran has been quite vocal lately. It fired about 200 missiles at Israel on the 1st of October, and after that, it has kept threatening the Israelis, warning them to not launch a retaliatory attack.
I am warning Israel and Israeli officials that the true promise, too, was only a warning. It was the smallest scale of action that we could carry out with the smallest portion of our power. Learn your lesson. We say it now, and you are aware that when we say it, we take action. Be careful not to make a mistake again. If you do, and target us in any way, whether in the region or in Iran, we will strike you in a painful manner again.
That was the latest threat issued by the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hossein Salami. Every Iranian official has been repeating the same line. They keep warning Israel to not attack. But Israel is planning an attack anyway. The US has been trying to get Israel to tone down its response. Israel has agreed to only target military sites of Iran, instead of going after Iran's nuclear or oil facilities. This is probably the best deal that Joe Biden is going to get from Netanyahu. So the next step is stopping a retaliation from Iran. If Iran responds to an Israeli attack, there's no telling what will happen. So the US will want Iran to stay down. That is probably why they unleashed the B-2s.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody familiar with what happened with that? Do you know what a B-2 is?
No, sir, I do not know what a B-2 is. No.
That's the black plane. Look like a lot of people mistake it for a UFO. It's black, got to look like a bat, got the long black, it's black, all black. It's still because it's it goes undetected and it's not easily picked up on the radars. But that's some high tech weaponry. So you know that's sending a signal to China and especially Russia that they're gonna bring out some of their high tech weapons. I think it's a dumb move. Right? So yeah. So you get a chance, so you can Google it. You'll see what it looked like. Any other comments on that? Anybody else got anything? Okay. So we go to some need to know information, and then we'll open up for some Q&A. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We have a late night broadcast for you here, in which I'm going to be talking about the judgment of America again. When I do these things, I consider myself as helping those that I am speaking about, because according to Scripture, it says that a watchman warns the people, right? But I am a watchwoman. And so that's what I'm here to do, to let people know that when the Bible says something is going to happen, that these are the Most High's words, it shall come to pass.
Traders, what do you think separates you from a 7 or 8 figure trader?
Not just that, we are also instructed in Scripture, and I've shared this with you all many times here recently, especially, that the Bible says, publish and conceal not, right? Publish and conceal not. In other words, we are not supposed to remain quiet about the Most High's plans concerning Babylon, right? Or the daughter of Babylon. We are not to remain quiet. We have been given a biblical directive to publish and conceal not. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all some people are really hot. They are upset. Do y'all hear me? They are angry, right? And it's very clear to me that some of them are seeing our people speaking about their judgment. You know how I know? Because they are saying it. They are upset. They're saying they can't believe the number of our people that are coming out speaking about these things. And they are really ticked off. But like I said, I'm doing things a little bit different. I'm trying to help you here. I want to point you in the direction of repentance. Whether you will hear or forbear is up to you. Now, I see someone has a very interesting name in the chat, Brother Obadiah. Hey, those of us in the know those of us in the know what that's all about. See, some people aren't familiar with that at all. They're not familiar with that. Obadiah, our ancient brother Obadiah had a vision. That's why the scripture started off the vision of Obadiah. You see, we got another Obadiah in the house. Hey, that's what we're talking about today, y'all. Right under brother Obadiah, we have another Obadiah in the house, right? Shalom, shalom, family. It is what it is. Okay. Ballin, get your hands on the apple of my eye. Some of my messages may sound repetitive, y'all, but I'm talking about different topics. It's just that certain scripture applied to so check that out. You need to check that one out, because if you look up the etymology of the word freedom, it's tripped out. I said, y'all ain't slick. Y'all ain't slick. It's almost like they want everybody to cry freedom so they can free Edom, right? Exonerate from the sins. But that, the Most High said, no, it got to happen. I already spoke it, so it must come to pass. So anyway, take a listen at what these folks have to say. And of course, I will be right back.
Here. Why the am I seeing people praising all these people dying, all these towns gone? Because they think it's sundown town.
I just don't understand why people are talking like this and going on like this. This is disgusting behavior, and you should be ashamed of yourself. It's disgusting.
I'll go over here. Why the seeing people praising all these people dying, all these towns gone? Because they think it's sundown towns. I am an anthropology major, and I am going to spend the next few years proving that these sundown towns do not work in the capacity that they used to. I am from Vidor, Texas. I lived there, grew up there, still have family there. Here's their logo. And I have every different shade of wheat in my family. Prepare to see a book in a few years, because this pisses me off. These towns are not like they were 40 years ago. whatsoever. I was 10 minutes down the road from Jasper, Texas when that man got dragged down the road. These are just Americans at this point. Most of those people who were super and overly racist have died off. These are just Americans. Stop saying dumb shit. Uncle Wolfie out.
Yeah, we heard about them. And lots of people died in those, lost their homes, lost everything, and businesses, and they're struggling, and pets are missing, and people are missing. And you're disgusting. Very, very disgusting. I just don't understand why people are talking like this and going on like this. This is disgusting behavior, and you should be ashamed of yourself. It's disgusting. It's nasty behavior. People should not act like this. Grow up. God did not pick these people to send a hurricane to hurt. I have friends down there. Luckily, they're okay. But you people are just absolutely disgusting that are talking this way. Have the day you deserve.
I'm so y'all. Every single motherfucker. I can't believe how many people are making videos like this. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. And when I say y'all, I mean black, white, or otherwise. Anybody who would have this kind of take during something so catastrophic happening. People have lost their lives, loved ones. Children have died. There's hundreds of people still missing and unaccounted for. And y'all want to use it for a God's Mormon and claim they're all motherfucking sundowntowns and that they somehow like trying to insinuate that they brought it on themselves. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Never have I ever wanted to be able to have the ability to go through a.
So how much did it cost to fill your tank?
Almost $100.
Any comments so far?
Shalom, I can't believe he said they don't all died off. Did you hear him say they don't really?
Well, yeah, they're trying to justify it.
Right.
Act like it didn't happen. You know, we're supposed to forget about all that. You know. So what if they did die off?
Okay.
It still don't change what happened.
It don't change what happened.
And you ain't acknowledged it. You ain't trying to fix it. Come on.
Yes. They just scared. They scared. Change is coming. Yeah, you just read that in Psalms 10, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Is that sound? Well, yeah, we'll play a little more of this and then we'll move on.
Okay, I want to pause it real quick. So they're giving us a rundown of things that have happened to people. They are telling us that, you know, children and this one and that one, and they're in disbelief that this stuff is happening and that people are talking about it in the way that they are. So I want to, again, I'm trying to help them out. You are talking about the way to deal with people like so-called Black folk that have been persecuted and have been mistreated for so long is not to tell them how disgusting they are. The Bible, get to know the real man, because he ain't all about this stuff that your Christian pastors are telling you about. I'm sorry, I led into that a little bit too much. I only want to say a little bit and get back to the clip. But sometimes you just got to let it flow, family. Sometimes you just got to let it flow. Anyway, I'm going to let you all go ahead and finish hearing what these people have to say. And then I got more words for them, more of a message to inform them of how the Most High is. I'm trying to show folk that he ain't what you thought he was, right? He's not what your Christian pastor taught you that he is. He is a terrible Elohim. That's what the Bible says. I bet you didn't know that was in there, did you? Open up your book. The Bible says that the Most High is terrible. Oh, my goodness. My. Anyway, let's finish listening to what the folk have to say.
Telephone as much as I do today.
Every day I get on this app, I'm shocked
at all the hate in this world. Evidently, this girl's from California, one of the most beautiful states in the world. Well, was, okay, by the way. Now it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay. They've let that place go.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to cut in again. Did she just say she is shocked at all of the dirt in the world? Is that what she just said? Correct me if I'm wrong. And did she just say that she is
hell? Okay. But to sit there and say some of the garbage some of these people are saying, the hate in their heart, really. Because when it comes down to it, we are all Americans. We are all humans. We are all born the same way.
Humans on the boat.
With red blood running through our veins. You know? There are radicals on both sides. One side wants to kill children all the way up until birth. Okay? There are people like that on that side. It's disgusting. They want to literally children. And then the other side doesn't think it's okay to take a 10-year-old girl who has been raped by a grown man. They think it's okay for her to have a child. That's not okay. Okay? So, stop, people. There's radicals on both sides. Okay? But there's good people on both sides. And both sides live in these places. Why? Why are we doing this to each other? There's people dying. Have no food, no water, no electricity. Who gives two craps which side they're on? I don't. I do not.
Where do you get your information?
Show your daughter how much you love her with
You, who is saying these things to you that you actually believe this stuff? There's no such thing as a sundown town in North Carolina. There's no such thing as a sundown town in Tennessee. Sundown towns were strictly a Texas thing, right? An Arizona thing. So maybe out west you see things like that, but you don't see things like that in the East. I'm sorry. I don't know where you got this information from, but please educate yourself. Have a good day. I could be wrong.
Okay. Any comments on that? And you been to North Carolina, haven't you, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
We got sundown town?
And they do.
Okay.
They do. Just like they do here in Louisiana, just like they do in Texas. Yes,
Right.
and they do have signs up. I don't know what he's talking about. He's from Vidor,
Right.
Texas. You know, I've been through Vidor, Texas plenty of times when
Yeah.
you're Houston. So, yes, sir. So I
They
don't know
not
what he's talking about.
they known worldwide by the Texas,
Yes.
especially after what happened in Jasper. Okay.
So he needs to take that somewhere else.
Is that something? All of a
Hmm.
sudden they got brain cramps.
Right. They don't know anything now. He gonna mention about he got a little bit of everybody in his family. Yeah, you do. You probably do now,
Right.
but that does not excuse what they doing in Vidor, Texas.
Exactly. But they done. Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. With that being said, nobody else have anything. We're gonna go to Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments, or dialogue about anything that they came across? We want to talk about it, chop it up, so we can bring it forward.
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir. I have a little dialogue. discussion I would like to have, because during the day, with me working from home, I do listen to a lot of videos, right, and a lot of channels, and
Okay.
I see and listen to a lot of Black women. I'm not even going to say they're Hebrew Israelite women, because they do so much out of order, right? That
Okay.
I was thinking today, just because they're not in the church, right? They have their own platform or podcast or whatever. They feel as though they can say and do anything and handle the man any kind of way, with just totally
Right.
being disrespectful. And the thing is that I've noticed they're still quoting the New Testament when they're, having these discussions. They're still in First Timothy's, they're in Titus, they're in Corinthians or whatever. They still quoting the New Testament, but they ignoring a lot of the things that is in the New Testament, right? When
Yeah.
it comes to them leading and preaching and speaking and having these big mouths. And then when they have a man or brother that comes on the line that's correcting them and speaking the truth, they want to mute them or boot them off of the line, right? So
Right.
I was thinking today, Brother Leonard, like, where is this really, really, really stemming from? Because it goes way, way back, right? So
Okay.
I want to read a little bit out of the Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave. Excuse my language, but I'm going to read this part of the book, and it's on page 16 if you have the book. And I'm going to read page 16 and 17, right? And it's the breaking process of the African woman. And I'm going to say the Hebrew Israelite woman, because
Okay.
we are the only culture that does not stand behind our Hebrew Israelite men.
Okay.
You see the Asian people, they have these nail shops, and if something break out in that shop, I know you guys have seen these videos, they are right along the men fighting, kicking out women, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we do not protect our Hebrew Israelite men, and we got to do better as the nation of Israel and as Hebrew Israelite women. So y'all just be patient with me as I read this. Plus, go to scripture, because we got to be more rooted in the truth. And when we're going to be rooted in the truth, we got to go to scripture. I didn't say it, I didn't write it. The Lord of hosts said. So I'm going to start on page 16, right? It says, then take the female, run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to her desires willingly. Test her in every way, because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of itch out of her. Read between the lines. Take care
Right.
to kill her, for in doing so, you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age, understanding the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into this area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female Igor. We have reversed the relationship. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized Igor male, and she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring, and would raise the female offspring to be dependent like her, right? Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling one civilized Igor apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death, all in her presence. By her being left alone, by her being left alone, Unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state, independency, she will raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. What have you got? You've got the eager woman out front and the man behind and scared. Okay? This is a perfect situation for sound sleep in economics. I'm going to stop right there, Brother Leonard. I'm not going to finish. If you guys have the book, read it. If you don't have it, get it. Because once you read it, you're really going to start checking yourself. Okay? So we know in Genesis chapter 2, Brother Leonard, it talks about the creation of woman, right? Of the one man.
Right.
We know that there's an order. We are a great nation. The Hebrew Israelite women are great women. They want to be like us, but we have to step up to the plate and realize when we're out of order. We are a helpmeet. We are support to our Hebrew Israelite men, whether if you have one or not. If you have a Hebrew Israelite man that's a teacher and you are amongst them every day, you show that teacher some respect. You don't just talk to him any kind of old way, come on the platform doing any old thing. We got to do better as a nation because we are totally out of order. It doesn't mean that we're less important, none of that. The Lord of hosts put an order in place, and we have to understand that. He didn't put us above the man. That it's just that way. And if you have a hard time accepting that and understanding that, you're going to continue to be out of order. So, Brother Leonard, I would just want to read a couple of scriptures, right? I'm going to go to Ezekiel 35 and 31. That's my first spot. And I'm included in this too because I'm still working on me too. But we got to stop being, such loud women. We got to stop. I may be in the wrong spot. So I'm going to go to Numbers 27. I had it written down wrong. So, Brother Leonard, you may can help me with that in Ezekiel where it talks about the flock of my pasture is the men. I'm going to go to Numbers 27. So Numbers 27, 15, I'm going to read it, 15, 16, and 17. It says, And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of flesh, set a man over the congregation. Set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as asleep, which have no shepherd. So we gotta think about that. We are trying to lead the men. We're not supposed to be doing that. And like I said, we got to get rooted back in our culture because we are so off. And I'm gonna read one more, and I'm gonna close out. And you know, the more you study, the more you get into the scriptures, the Old Testament, and understand the women of old, it's gonna benefit. It really is. So I'm gonna go to Sirach chapter 36, and I'm gonna read verse 24. He that gets a wife enters on a possession, right? A help appropriate for him, and a pillar of rest, not a headache, a pillar of rest. So Hebrew Israelite women, we gotta get out of this slum that we're in, wanting to be independent, women. I think Lil Bootsy made a song about independent women that say Independent. What does that mean? She got her own car, she got her own house, she got 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? She's a bad broad. Uh-uh. That ain't no bad broad. On this channel also, I'm listening to a woman talk about being modest. Ain't she saying don't nobody want to dress in them old fashioned clothes? This modern time, you don't have to be old fashioned. And she has so many other women following her. I don't want to be in the midst of a woman that's speaking like that. So we have to slow down and start correcting ourselves as Hebrew Israelite women, and not feel as though we got to be in some type of competition with the Hebrew Israelite men, because we are not. They are our head. They were made in the image of God. And I just wanted to say that, Brother Leonard, get off of my soapbox, but that really bothered me today, watching that video.
Okay.
Yeah. Shalom, everyone.
Yeah. So, any comments on that? Well said. Anybody have any comments, questions, or anything about on the topic? I don't know who that is, Sister J, but you came yesterday, but then you left. I don't know what the deal was. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge or try to acknowledge everybody that comes here. So we welcome you, and it's all good. So anyway, we're gonna go to. I got a little video I want to play. It's pretty much like a warning, eye opener for some people that's not really zeroed in. But let me play it, then we'll talk about it.
Administration just authorized lethal force by the military on United States citizens. Y'all, we need to pay attention to this. I was given this, it's a copy of the Department of Defense directive that was updated on September 27th. I got this about 3 weeks ago. Literally, I got this the night that the storm happened here, Hurricane Helene. And I've been just tied up trying to help as many people as I can here. And now I'm finally getting a chance to record this video. This is a terrible, terrible thing. I have the directive. Like I said, I've had it for about 3.5 weeks. And yesterday, I was doing my due diligence. I read this directive, and I even reached out to some of my friends who are currently serving in the United States military in different branches at very high ranking levels, some of them in support, some of them in SF, Special Forces, and this is legit. This is the same directive they got, and it's not good. Never before has the United States military been able to take lethal force action on American citizens in the homeland.
On Miro, you work faster on the new Innovation Workspace.
There will be civil unrest in 3 weeks or 4 weeks for the election? 3 weeks. And when they tell you who they are, ladies and gentlemen, believe them. And they're telling us who they are.
You know, Biden has said for years now, if you think you're going to defeat the United States military, you're going to need an F-16. Remember all that bullshit? Well, he just cleared the military to take action. Here is the DoD Directive 5240.01 that was just updated, like I said, September 27th. And it is the DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Now, rather than just show you the one paragraph that is going to make your eyes bleed, let's see what it's applicable to, okay? This issuance applies to the Office of the Secretary of Defense, the military departments, the Office of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Joint Staff, the combatant commands, the Office of Inspector General of the Department of Defense, the defense agencies, the Department of Defense field activities, and all other organizational entities within the Department of Defense referred to collectively in this issuance as the DoD components. Now, this issuance does not apply to activities conducted by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency pursuant to Section 442 of Title 10 of the U.S. Code or Section 3045 of Title 50 of the U.S. Code for A, humanitarian assistance, B, disaster readiness, response, and recovery, C, maritime and aeronautical safety of navigation, D, environmental and security vulnerability studies, E, mapping, charting, and geodetic missions, F, other similar activities not constituting foreign intelligence or counterintelligence. Okay, so of those things that it does not apply to, it wouldn't take but a single order from above to turn that into a different scenario where they're going to say there's public and civil unrest. And here's the part that everybody should be aware of. This is the part a lot of people have been reaching out about in the last couple of weeks here, and I have verified it. This is the one that everybody got issued, and my friends in the military have all said the same thing, that this was not accidentally included. Here it is. We go to Section 3.3, Levels of Authority. Subject to paragraph 3.1, defense intelligence components may provide personnel to assist a federal department or agency, including a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency, when lives are in danger, in response to a request for such assistance in accordance with the following approval authorities. 1, the Secretary of Defense may approve any type of requested permissible assistance prescribed in paragraph 3.2. 2, the decision to approve requests for these types of permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2 to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities are reserved to the Secretary of Defense. A, provision of personnel to support response efforts for civil disturbances, which may also require presidential authorization. B, DoD response to chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosive incidents. C, and this is the big one, assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality, or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force must be in accordance with DoD, that's Department of Defense Directive 5210.56, potentially as further restricted based on the specifics of the requested support. D, provision or use of DoD unmanned systems, drones, in the United States, except as delegated by the Secretary of Defense pursuant to the October 31, 23 Secretary of Defense memorandum. Guys, anywhere that law enforcement could potentially be anticipated to have a confrontation with civilians or civilian groups, i.e. militia, that group that's required by the United States Constitution, they're authorized to, upon request and approval by the Secretary of Defense, and perhaps in some situations the President, they're approved to shoot you, to kill you,
Okay. Did that anybody getting a response out of that? What you what you keep from that? No comments? Okay, let me break it down for you. So these people already know what's getting ready to happen. So like I said before, we see the Democrats, and we see the Democrats know what they're gonna do, and the Republicans know what they're gonna do. So that on both sides they're passing bills for they know for what they know that's inevitable, which is civil war gonna break out behind this election. So they already passed all the bills. They just passed this last month on the 27th. And like he said, they passed it while the hurricane was going on. When the news, when the media was being bombarded with the hurricane, they passed it. So they know what's getting ready to happen. Like I said before, don't forget what happened in January 6th. So they know what's getting ready to happen, and they're putting all these laws in place to accommodate it when it go down. Okay, so like I said, you're not bracing yourself and preparing yourself for what's getting ready to happen, then woe be unto you. Okay, so no questions, no comments on that. You want to check that video out? It says alert: Biden and Harris authorized military to use lethal force on Americans. So they already know what's getting ready to happen. She gonna win, and then even if it come to drama like it did with Gore and Bush, they ain't getting out of the office until the 20th of January. So it only makes sense that they would pass this law right here, not the Republicans. The Republicans ain't in charge, so they know what's getting ready to happen. Believe that. Okay, so nobody have no comments on that, or we'll go to our topic, which, like I said before, it's another controversial topic too that you need to prepare yourself for. It's tied to this, but it's pretty much just a little more complex than that because it's tied to scripture, tied to us as Israelites. We'll deal with.
Just coming through this video real quick. I see something big coming with Black Americans, and I wanted to address it right now and bring it to your attention. Without no further ado, let's get straight to the video. Here's what's going on. Black people are going to be in a situation in the next couple of years, and I want to tell you why. So listen closely to the end of the video. I'm going to give you some good motivation, but I want you to sit tight. It's not going to take long at all. Buckle in. I'm working on a new bill right now. I'm in construction. You know, I'm a jeweler, but I also do, real estate. This is one of the new bills that I'm working on. Me and my business partner, we set this new build up, gentrifying neighborhood, okay? So we did a new bill. This used to be an all-Black neighborhood, okay? Some of the workers, they left for the day and everything, and they are Mexican, okay? I would love Black workers, but we just can't find Black workers that do quality work for decent prices, okay? Because we tried it. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. So I took the workers to McDonald's, okay? I don't eat McDonald's. I took the workers to McDonald's in used to be a predominantly Black neighborhood because it's now white and Mexican, right? It transformed to a white and Mexican neighborhood, okay? The McDonald's that used to be all Black people, I used to hate going there because it was kind of ghetto, right? Because the Black people, they just doing whatever. That McDonald's now, I took those guys to, is all Mexican people working there. Shout out to the Mexicans, love, Viva Mexicano Cabrones. All Mexican people working in there. So you mean to tell me that it went from all Black to now all Mexican McDonald's workers, right? Okay, cool. So that means all the Black people that used to work there lost their job. They no longer employed there. And I see this happening all the time, right? So I'm not gonna get too political with this video. I'm not leaning either way, Democrat or Republican. But Donald Trump did say something that offended me, right? He said blacks need to be worried about black jobs because the Mexicans or the immigrants in general are coming to take those jobs. And I was like, man, what are you talking about? Black jobs, man. You know, you're disrespecting me and my culture, talking about some black jobs. However, he is right. And I see it, right? The jobs that black people used to, the lower end jobs that black people run to are being removed. And I should say immigrants, because we don't know if they're from Mexico, Honduras, Brazil, wherever, Africa, Chinese, wherever. Those jobs are being replaced by those people, right? So what are you talking about, James Mack? What I'm talking about is they had a situation where they said that majority of black Americans in 2050 would have zero income. That means no income. And I can see that in the forecast, right? Because if you don't have an education, if you're black American, you don't have an education, and you have a record, a felony or something, which black Americans catching felonies left and right or charges left and right. What's gonna happen in 2030, right? 5 more years from now, what's gonna happen? 6 more years from now? You're gonna be unemployable, period, out the gate, right? And the fastest growing minority sector that's making money is immigrants, predominantly Mexicans coming to America. Let's really take a look at that real quick, okay? Because I know a lot of people like, and shout out to the Mexicans once again. I know a lot of people like, well, you could do it too. Okay, so let's look at some things. Under the Biden administration, they made it okay for immigrants to just come over, right? Cool. I want you to think about something. When an immigrant comes to this country, if it's another immigrant that's in charge of a job, that's in charge of an apartment complex, that's in charge of resources of any of that, then guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna hire their people. So that means not only are the African Americans being discriminated and being left out of corporate America if you don't have an education, or being left out of jobs because of racism, now you have the immigrants coming in saying, we don't want to hire you either. We're helping our own people, right? We're helping the immigrants, the Mexicans, the Hondurans, the Brazilians. We're helping our own people. We don't want to hire you black Americans either. So let's really dive deep into that. So if an immigrant comes to America and has no rental history or no credit history, right? That's a good thing, right? Because you don't have no, you have a fresh, clean start, right? You don't have no bad rental history, right? You never got down on your luck and got evicted, so now you got eviction on your record. And with the credit, no credit is better than bad credit, or having some credit cards or something like that that you didn't pay off or whatever. They're coming into a situation where they have no credit, technically, because if you have bad credit from Mexico or you have bad credit from Guatemala, that's not necessarily going to follow you over to America, an American system, right? That's a whole different type of credit, right? So I don't know about the Visa cards and the MasterCards in Honduras and in Belize and stuff like that, but we're talking about here in America. Okay, you don't have no credit, so that's a better look, right? So we'll give you some credit because you don't have any credit, right? You can go to the dealership and get something. You can go to the apartment, and let's talk about the apartments, right? I personally, when I was really, in the apartment searching, many years ago, found a lot of discrimination when it comes to apartments, right? Let's face it. You come and you fill out the application, they find out you're black. They don't really want you in the community like that for the most part. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if I want this black American guy in the community. I can just wait and get a different type of person and give the apartment to them, right? I personally face that, right? But you have immigrants, Mexicans, Hondurans, Brazilians, whatever the case may be, that's owning apartment complexes now that can say, you know what, if you don't have a Social Security card, if you don't have a birth certificate, if you don't have anything, we know you fresh in America and we feel your pain, we understand that, then we're gonna go ahead and rent to you. As long as you got your money, we're gonna go ahead and give you a chance. But you, black American, I don't know. You was here, you got a felony, your credit is not good. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna rent to you. But we don't know what they did in Honduras. We don't know what they did in Mexico. We don't know none of that. All we know is they here now, and now we're going to give them a clean start, right?
Okay. Any comments on that so far? Okay, no comments?
Feeling what's really bothering me in my heart. And when I see my brothers laying on the ground more than ever, when I see my brothers laughing to themselves, dealing with mental illness issues because of the marijuana smoke, because of the drinking, because of the bad food, when I see the sisters doing great because they have the education, right? Because they are in corporate America, but they're still going through the issues in corporate America because there's a lot of women that still is not getting the positions that they deserve in corporate America. That's a whole different talk though. You know, I'm concerned with what I'm seeing, the poverty levels of the African Americans. You have the Indian people coming over, shout out to the Indian people, dominating the IT space, dominating the computer space. That's something Black folks are not even really cultured in, right? That's their culture, right? So you have a country that's already overpopulated, so they got tons and tons of Indians to come over here and populate these cities, right? They don't, hey, listen, if you come from an overpopulated country, to come here is like coming to heaven. It's peaceful. You come into somewhere where there's plenty of space and greenery, where you just went somewhere where there's somebody, every corner you turn is somebody, right? So they're flocking over here by the droves, right? In North Carolina, where I do my real estate, I see nothing but Indians coming, populating this area, populating this space, taking over the hood, taking over the suburbs, taking over everything. Between them and the Mexicans and the white people, Black men don't stand a chance. And that's just my honest opinion, right? That's just my honest opinion, right? And they still developing situations and different techniques to get you out of there, right? So, I had to, wake you guys up and talk about this issue right now. This is your boy, this is your man, James Mack. Guys, we got to come up with some solutions, right? We have to get back to the real estate. We have to get back to the real estate. If we can, we got to put our money together. We have to put our money together. I might have to start a mutual fund or a hedge fund or something like that to try to bring people with this money that may be low income, bring it together and try to work something out, because the Black man is on a path headed nowhere. You dig? Nowhere. And we are the developers. Nobody tell me of all the inventions. I didn't know a Black woman made the microwave. I didn't know a Black person made the internet. You know what I mean? I didn't know these things, right? So I started to understand that a lot of the stoplight, a lot of things we see, we developed, right? So we can develop more things, right? The robo-taxi and all that, man. Elon Musk is not that smart. We're smart. I thought about so many inventions. I just didn't have the funding or the capital or even the motivation just to get on it, right? But I'm just letting you know, we are smart African Americans. We're smart. You see the Africans, that's all they're on is engineering. Africans on engineering. Indians on IT. White folks is on finances and real estate. Mexicans is on real estate and construction. What is the Black man on? Entertainment? And they're trying to cut you out of that. You see what they're doing to all our leaders, all our influential Black folks. They let them get up and they strip them of all their wealth. And what they do, they spend the money right back with white lawyers trying to fight cases in white judicial systems. I don't mean to sound racist, I'm just saying.
Okay. And feedback.
Brother Leonard, that's what I was saying earlier. He was like, I don't mean to sound racist, right? But I'm just saying. So when we want to stick together, when we want to get back to our culture, when we want to show our intelligence, when we, want to, come out to the light, everybody got a problem with it. Even us.
Exactly.
Even us. We are held back by worried about how other people are going to view us, what other people are going to think of us. you know that it has to stop. So that's what I'm saying earlier when I was saying, as Hebrew Israelite women, we got to get back to our culture. I'm not speaking to the average Black woman. I'm speaking to the Hebrew Israelite women, the ones that say there are Hebrew Israelite women. If you have a problem with the culture and the order, you're not a Hebrew Israelite woman. You
Right.
cannot have a problem with the order and then come back and be afraid to say I'm a Hebrew Israelite woman. Oh, what
Okay.
they gonna say about me? Oh, what you no. It has to stop. Like he said, look at all the inventions that we have done that has been stripped away from us. If you really don't research it, you won't know a lot of Black people invented all those things.
Right.
We gotta stop that. We gotta stop allowing other women to disrespect our Hebrew Israelite men. We gotta stop that. And Brother Leonard, that verse that I was looking for in Ezekiel 34 was
Right.
Ezekiel 34 and 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, said the Lord. That was the verse that I was looking for when I was dealing with that discussion earlier.
Okay. People overlook that. You know, you even got men to overlook it. Like I
Yes.
said, you call it in the New Testament, you go right over your head. You don't know the importance of it. Exactly. So, before we go, anybody have anything else they want to talk about or say, or anything they want to deal with before we go? Something that came across? Okay, yeah. So, like I said, appreciate everybody that's coming on, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because it's going to help you move along. That'll be greatly appreciated. So, with that being said, I want to say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I see y'all uh, tomorrow. We got our men's advanced Bible study on non-Messianic conversations, and it's from 9 to 7 Central Time. Okay. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, brother.